Hi everybody! Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the second episode of Vinyl and Veneer. Today we are going to be discussing an album that I've listened to probably close to 10 plus times, maybe even more than that. Probably more than 10, maybe we're going closer to 20. But this is Lady Gaga's 6th studio album, Chromatica. Here it is in its beautiful vinyl. It is in kind of clear vinyl, which is, I think, pretty cool. But yeah, let's get into a little bit about the album, songs that I enjoyed, and I will be, so that we can keep it nice and cohesive, using some of the Stupid Love eyeshadow palette. I think I'm just going to be using motion really to kind of carve out the look that I'm thinking of. Today is going to be an extremely dramatic kind of like winged eye moment. I really want to do something that feels very Chromatica. We're going to be playing with black, pink, and greens, and Blackpink is actually an artist they're a group that's featured on the album that just kind of happened because I said those two colors. Anyway, I am excited for this look. I'm first going to kind of carve it out using some just different, probably flat kind of pointy tools. Wow, very helpful actually. Just kind of flat liner brushes to kind of carve out where I'm going to want to place my liner, because it is going to be a lot more extreme than, you know, just a wing. So while that is happening, I am going to tell you a little bit about this 6th studio album. Ooh, Igook. Cute. So Chromatica was going to come out, I believe, in April, but then kind of got pushed because of COVID, obviously. COVID has affected quite a lot of people in many, many different ways, and I would think as an artist you feel kind of like, is the timing right? Is that really when I should be, you know, is this the right time to release an album kind of thing? So here I am carving out kind of where I want my look to go, and I think I really want this sharp kind of circular look on the outer corner here. I think hopefully you can kind of get, it almost looks like a fire, what is that called? A flame. Lord help me. All right, so this 6th studio album, Chromatica, is split up into 3 different parts, really. Chromatica 1, 2, and 3, and they're all kind of like these different, I don't want to say phases, but almost phases. Like, there are these beautiful string arrangements within, and the album itself opens up with a string arrangement as the actual first track. It's not, there are no, you know, lyrics or no singing over it. It's just this beautiful kind of string, and I think it really sets the tone for the album so that the listener kind of understands, like, oh, we're really going on almost like a journey here. You know, this feels like something different, something that perhaps I haven't really heard from Gaga in a while or have experienced before. And for her, the album touches on quite a lot of deep and complex emotions, and yet the entire album is one that makes me want to dance and party and have fun. And I find that really beautiful because it's taking art and using it to heal yourself, and it's taking art and using it in a form to really make yourself heal. And I think Gaga does this in a beautiful way because she shows that I'm obviously not show, but I guess when you listen, you can hear it in the music and the lyrics of how, you know, she has gone through quite a few very difficult things. She struggles with mental health issues. She was sexually assaulted by someone in the music industry. And there are just a lot of things within her life that really were very, very challenging. And she makes it very clear that, you know, we are all human and we all do have similar experiences that make us all very human. So in the same breath, I think it's that music really is something that you can listen to regardless of if you speak the language or not. You can hear what emotion is being, you know, conveyed. So I kind of have this sketched out a little bit, and I think it's not too bad. This one maybe should come in a little bit more to hit, but I think this look will be much more of kind of a sister eye than not. But then I also kind of wanted to bring in and do the swoopy within the inner portion. So I think it has to go kind of up through here and bring that circular portion down and around. This teardrop-ish shape within here, but this shape itself feels very Chromatica to me. Sorry, I had to concentrate while trying to even just lightly sketch out this design. Also, I noted that I didn't put any like primer or anything on my lids. I think that's gonna be okay, as this look isn't gonna be super heavy when it comes to, what is the word? Shadow? I might have some pockets of shadow within this empty space, maybe within here, but overall I don't think this look is gonna be super shadow heavy. She's gonna be liner focused. Anyway, so the album opens up with Chromatica 1, which is a beautiful string arrangement, and then goes into the song Alice. And it's obviously a play on Alice in Wonderland, but it's really her taking you through her journey. And I watched Gaga be interviewed by somebody from Apple Music, and she really talks about how, you know, she obviously has been very open about her mental health issues and how she struggled, and just how, you know, she felt like she was falling and she needed to get back up, and just the little things in her life that she could do to get herself back up. And it's really, I think, a testament of just who she is as a person and as an artist, to be able to grab onto any little thing, regardless of what that is. But it's something that I resonate with, being a survivor of domestic abuse, of when you pull onto that like that one little string of hope that you have, you can tell that that's what she was kind of pulling on and leaning on. And it's very, very beautiful. And I think there is something to the song that sets up the album in such a perfect way. Obviously, it's Alice in Wonderland. She's searching for this utopia almost. Like, I'm going to continue to keep searching. But also going through the hole and falling down into Wonderland, I think, is falling down into Gaga's world, falling down into what is Chromatica. Now, I'm going to take a liner, and this is going to take some concentration. So I probably won't speak through this, but let me line my lids and I will bring you back in so we can talk about the next song on the album that really kind of spoke to me, Rain on Me. All right, everyone, so I have the basic look kind of sketched out with the eye, and I'm super excited about it. I think it's super cool. I now am going to fill in practically all of that space with some other eyeliner, so I don't use up my nice, like, fine point tip that I really like, but just something else. And then I am going to go over all of that with Motion, which is kind of like a black with, like, sparkly pigments. At least I'm pretty sure I'm going to go over it with Motion. I guess I'm not 100% sure. It does look like a black overall with just kind of some light sparkle, but maybe I'll like the shine of the liner when I'm done kind of going in with all the black. So we'll see how that goes. But I want to talk to you about Rain on Me, which was a song that Gaga did with Ariana Grande. And this song in particular, I think kind of at surface level doesn't seem like it means too much, but Gaga even spoke about how this song even relates to her and how much she was drinking during this time that was difficult for her, which I think is so interesting because it shows there is so many layers within songwriting, and I think with somebody as seasoned as Lady Gaga, who wrote when she was a little girl, and she said that this album in particular was one that she was able to write like she used to write. You know, the melodies and the lyrics just came out of her. They flowed out of her. And it was through a lot of kind of like pain and talking and things that she would go through to kind of get to one song. But it was something that it feels very Gaga to me. It feels like this was something that just so easily came to her. I think kind of going back to, you know, her original stuff and Just Dance and Poker Face and things that really just clicked with her being her aesthetic. I don't like to use that, but just it really feels very authentic to who she is as a person and as an artist. So I'm gonna go in and line this whole area with the liner, and I will come back with you when I'm not as focused on that. All right, everyone, so I have this liner, obviously very extreme all over my eye, and I'm just gonna try to let it dry as best as it can because I do actually like kind of the glossy finish on it. I think feels a bit more Chromatica than something that is, you know, not shiny, matte, I suppose, but that shadow had glitter. So I'm just gonna let this dry as she does. It does feel weird. This much liner on the lid is probably not what the liner was intended for, but we don't really care about that, do we now? But let me talk to you about the next song that I really, this one grew on me, was Free Woman. And for me, don't mind me as I gaze off and let this dry to the best of its ability, because I can see it will probably start cracking a little as I open my eyes. But anyway, Free Woman for me really is a tell of someone who has been through some sort of abuse or struggle. And it's a beautiful song that really holds true to that. You are free once you are out of this. And Gaga goes on to say that she really doesn't like putting genders into any of her songs or anything like that. She's very much against things like that. But she said for her, going through what she did in the entertainment industry of being sexually assaulted, she didn't want to be known as a survivor anymore, and I get that. I definitely understand that feeling, and she just said that she wants to be a free woman, and that's what she is. You know, she is a free woman. She doesn't have to label herself as being anything that happened because of that scenario. And that is very empowering to me and is something that I will strive to kind of look towards and do in my own healing journey. But I really, really love also this whole album is so fantastic to exercise to or to run to or to dance to. It truly just has such a beautiful build to it that what you want to do is dance, and that is 100% what she wanted to do. She talks about how this album, she has a lyric that talks about like this dance floor is hers, like she is reclaiming her space within what she loves. Note, this album was pretty much solely made in the box, meaning on a computer. She said that she kind of went over to certain organs and maybe were playing cues, but most things were then sent into the computer, into MIDI, and they kind of rearranged things from there and tried new sounds. And that's kind of, you definitely feel that with this album. I think it is very electronic, and I love it for that. It is what it is, and I admire it for that. And this album, to me, the first album that I really liked from this year that was very, very pop kind of centric was Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa, which still holds a great place in, I think, pop culture and what it did kind of in the beginning of the year. And I really liked the whole album as a whole. But there is something about Chromatica that is overarchingly a much more well-rounded album. There is something about the album that really tells a complete story, that really showcases Gaga and a journey that she's taking you through her mind, through her own Chromatica. So now that this liner is kind of drying, I can feel, obviously you can see the crackage, but we have the base of kind of this outline of what I wanted to create. Now I want to go in, I think most of the colors within kind of all of her promotional things were pink, but I was thinking of doing green liner kind of within these spaces. I think that would be really cool. But I also thought about pink because pink is very Chromatica, but I think I might just do a really bright pink on the lips, just so I can make sure I'm tying in that pink. But I think I'm just gonna go with super green, kind of around in these open parts, maybe around the full thing. I think that might make a really cool impact as well. And then I just kind of want to clean it up. You know, I don't know if I would like having this motion color all over. It might be pretty, and it does give off kind of the glimmer and the shine. Let's just see. Let's tap her on. Yeah, that's not bad. So I'll probably go in, let me use motion. I want to celebrate her and Stupid Love after all, this palette. So I'm gonna go in and I'll tell you a little bit more about the next song that I really enjoy is with Blackpink, called Sour Candy. And Sour Candy is super fun, is one of those pieces that really gets you into the mood if you haven't gotten into K-pop. It makes you want to get into K-pop. You know, I obviously had heard of Blackpink before this and had listened to them a bit, but it wasn't to the extent of what, you know, this album was able to provide me with a beautiful blend of what they're able to do as a group and definitely as someone as a feature. So it was very exciting to hear that within this album. I really think it just has some really nice kind of ear candy moments within the song that make it easy for you to remember and recognize. So I think that's also just why I really enjoy the song. It's just very, very pop and very electronic, and makes it just fun, you know, truly, truly fun. Now, as I'm putting this shadow on, I can see that it is more gray toned, which I'm okay with. I ain't mad at that, but I'm not gonna take it all the way out then, because it then kind of naturally gives me a gradient within that black space, which I'm currently enjoying. Now, for me, as the album continues, it gets stronger. And I prefer kind of the later half of the album than I do the beginning half. I do enjoy the whole thing collectively, but there are, the ending songs on there are really kind of what stand out to me to be the strongest. And I know many people kind of argue and disagree with kind of my choices of what I like, at least from what I have seen on Twitter. But probably my third favorite song is Enigma. And I was lucky enough to go with Best Friend to Vegas, and we saw Enigma, her Vegas residency at the MGM Park. And that really was fun, and it was very, very Gaga. That was because she did the jazz show and she did the pop show, and Enigma was the pop show, and that really was very Gaga, and I loved seeing her within that space and seeing her do what she does best. She is definitely a performer, and I love seeing her thrive, as you do any artist thrive. So Enigma to me really does feel kind of like a combination of the show. It feels very Gaga, it's very upbeat, it's just a fun song. But what to me feels a bit more very Gaga and a bit heightened of a track to me is Sign from Above. She talks about this in her interview, that she specifically chose Sine, S-I-N-E, as a sine wave of music, and that's what you look at when you see music on an oscillator. Is it an oscillator? Oscilloscope? I think it's an oscilloscope. I should know this, I went to school for this. But anyway, when you see music go through, it creates waveforms, a true sine wave. And she wanted to talk about how music was her sign from above, and she, I know, is religious, believes in God, but kind of a different God than I think you know, she, I think, is a bit more, not holistic, but her interpretation of God may be different than straight up Christianity vibes. But anyway, she is in some form religious, believes in a higher power, and I think really between that and music was the thing that brought her back to being able to understand that she is okay. And I think this whole album just has such a beautiful arc to it. Like I've said, you really understand the story. So Sign from Above for her is this sign that music is the thing from the beginning. And she said when she was young, she would play on the piano to try to cheer her dad up. I think she really was able to realize that there are some things within your own life that will always come back to you. For me, it's music and makeup and certain things that will always be there that help express to you who you are. And I think Sign from Above is that. And I also love and adore Elton John, so having him on this track was really amazing, and I think their voices actually sound quite good together. And Elton has been a mentor to Gaga, and I know Elton has said very great things about her. And he really is someone that I think she looks up to, because Elton was very much unapologetically himself, and truly an artist and somebody that, you know it's Elton John. And I think similarly, with this album, at least, it is Gaga. So this is the Suva Beauty liner, and I have a couple of Suva Beauty brushes. Or no, I guess I just have one Suva Beauty brush, so I'm not sure if this is the one I want to use, if it's going to be small enough, or if I'm going to use one that's a little bit more dainty when I get into this area. But if you didn't know, Suva Beauty creates cake liners. They create a lot of products, but cake liners I think are kind of what they're known for. And you just have to get some water in your cap, put your brush in the water, tap some into the pot here, and kind of activate the liner and let it become a bit of a paint, and then you are able to just paint it right onto your eyes. So I'm just gonna go around and kind of outline I love the green, I gotta say. I think it's super cool and definitely makes it look almost like raised. So now it's really what to do within the center portion, and it does make me want to kind of line it with the green. I think it needs the green on the inside, so I'm just gonna go for it. I love how this green look looks. It is so fun, and I'm very, very glad I did the green on the inside little loop. I think it is exactly what it needed. Now, the last track on the album was the one that really hit me the most right away. I knew instantly that I loved the track and that it just hit for me. And it has very similar notes to Madonna, and it has very, very similar notes to Vogue for me. And it's funny because I was actually watching Pose at the time. If you haven't seen Pose, please go check it out. It is such a beautifully created show. It's by Ryan Murphy. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix now, but it talks all about basically the AIDS crisis and, what it is to be in these balls as a transgender woman or as a gay man, and the culture that is behind all of it. And this song to me really, really spoke of, regardless of who you are, how you are, who you are born as, there is something to be said about anybody who has the bravery and who has just the pure life within them to live as they want to live. I think that is something that is so beautiful to see within people, is living who they are authentically and not caring or giving to who they are. It is so, so beautiful to me, and I think it is nothing but inspiring. And this song, Babylon, talks about how, it has a play on babbling on and telling rumors and lies, and how Gaga said in her interview that this song, rumors and the tabloids and things like that used to run her life, and how that just doesn't even get to her anymore. Like, she is so beyond that, so beyond what other people are saying or talking about, because she is who she is. She is confident in who she is. I cannot tell you how much I really love this album. It is a great album. It got 4 stars by Rolling Stone. It went #1 on the Billboard Top 200. It really is such a great album that I advise anybody to listen to really hear Gaga and kind of her progression of her life, and I think really opening up about some super deep, intense topics. 911 is talking about her taking medication. You know, she talks about just how deep, you know, some of the messages are within these songs, all while still having songs that you want to dance to. I think ultimately shows just how amazing she is as an artist and as a songwriter and as somebody that's telling her her story of, you may get down on these things, but that should never stop you from dancing. That should never stop you from living life. Now, let me finish up this face. I'm going to go on, get concealer, foundation, get some blush on. I'm definitely going to bring you back in before I put on a lip, and if I do anything on the lower lash line. I kind of feel like I shouldn't do anything on the lower lash line. I might line with the green. I'm not sure, but I'll bring you back in for that once I get to that point. All right, everybody, I am just going to put on some mascara, but wanted to let you know for blush, I put on this e.l.f. Bright Pink, just because I think it's gonna play really nicely with the sheer stick that I got from e.l.f. as well. But for my highlight, I am using Ava Beauty, and this is Champagne Lavish, and it has kind of like this beautiful kind of greenish tone to it. It is very glittery, so if you're not into that, pass. But I think just complements so well with the green on the eye. I think it's so fun. But I wanted to kind of see what to do in the lower lash line, and I kind of like this little bit of black smoke that I was putting here within the inner corner, and so I might just take a little bit on the edge and then line the inner rim with some of the green, or I'll just keep it blank. I don't know. You know, it's one of those things, it's like, what do you do? But let me take just a little bit of darkness on this outer edge, just a bit, just a hair. Or is the look enough as it is? Hilarious, I know, I am so funny. Is this enough, Ashley? I don't know, guys, is it enough? You let me know. I really think it is cool, and to me, it just really does scream Chromatica. All right, everybody, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I actually am going to put in some pink in that inner rim, but first let me just line with kind of like a nude liner. And then I'm gonna go in with this bright pink from the lovely #Vibes palette from Ruby May. I'm telling you, so beautiful. These colors are just stunning. I used this #babe on my Miley Cyrus Midnight Sky tutorial. And so I just want to go in with this pink Flirt and put this right into the inner rim. So I have that pink, and it kind of makes me look sick, won't lie. Gives me a little bit of like, does she have pink eye vibes? But that's okay, it's Chromatica. Maybe people will understand it when I, you know, get on the lip. But if I really don't like it, then I'll just wipe it off. So let me get on my mascara, and then I'll bring you back for the lip, and we will finish this out. All right, everybody, I changed out that pink liner and just kind of went over it a little bit with a more kind of dark purple. Tried to find black, but couldn't find black. But now I'm gonna go in with this nice kind of like hot pink-ish lip color, because this is definitely Chromatica. All right, everybody, and here is the final Chromatica look. I think the lip is so pink, so perfect for Chromatica. The green is beautiful to me. I just really love how this looks. The shape of the eye is so fun and so different and very Chromatica, in my opinion. If you kind of look at like the font, that's kind of like what went into it, but it's just different and unique and fun. And that's a lot of what this album is. It is a beautiful album. I really hope you go listen to it. Go give Gaga some love. A lot of people already do love her, but if you haven't listened to her in a while, go give this album a listen. I bet there'll be a song in there that you enjoy. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Vinyl and Veneer. Go check out my Tina Turner one. If you haven't, I can put a little clicky above. And again, feel free to watch some of my other videos if you have a little bit more free time. If not, no worries. I hope to see you on the next one, and I hope you're able to do something you love every single day. All right, guys, bye.